the importance that this young man places on this subject. Okay, so with that, have you got your clicker? It's just there. MARCIN and you on screen and yeah, so to you, buddy.
Hello, my name is MARCIN, and it's my final presentation for DEC Level 3 over the last span of 2 years. I've been tasked to create a new outpatient facility for the new hospital project in Overdale. As you can see, the current hospital is old. It's been around since 1793. It's yeah, and it was an asylum until St. Saviour's Hospital opened in 1868. So it's been around for a very long time, and it's slowly falling apart. So the need for the new hospital is quite crucial. As you can see there, there's the overall site where the new hospital is going to be built. I had the choice to design the outpatient facility on either the north field or the south field. I decided to concentrate on the south field as there was a view on the St. Helier City, and it was just right across the street from the new hospital where it's going to be built. And I thought that the north field is very close to the crematorium, which is just up the road. So I thought it might be a bit disrespectful and disturbing to build the outpatient facility there, because some noise might be created sometimes. So I decided to concentrate on the south field. Last year I went to the site to take some images of the site where I'm gonna be designing my building. There's some images. As you can see, the ground is quite straight and even, which is quite good to concentrate on my foundations and stuff. Yeah. I was looking at ventilation and stuff like that, and for the main source of ventilation, I'm gonna use natural ventilation, as it's energy efficient. Heating is not gonna be required, and it'll be a good circulation around the building. This was my first concept design, which was I actually really liked. It had solar panels in the middle, green roofs on the side. I have designed it in such a way so that shadow is minimized, because the sun rises in the east, sets in the west, and I thought that I didn't want a lot of shadow covering like the hospital and locals around this area from the west. So I put it on the top of the site, on the north side, and slanted the walls on the west side, so like it's shadows minimized. Yeah. Then there's my second design, which had a very nice aesthetic design to it, but it was really energy consuming, and it would be a big lack of natural light, which would require a lot of artificial light in it. It would cost a large amount of money to create, since the design would require many columns and beams. This is my final design. Out of the 3 I created, this is the one I decided to concentrate on. It was fits the client brief the best. In my opinion, it had the design is quite simple, with most walls being straight rather than sloped or curved, which makes it cost efficient to design. There's a little top floor on the top, which is going to have a green roof space on it, and the big one's going to have solar panels all over. It was I decided to actually move. This was the first one. I decided to move the top floor from like middle west of the building to the north of it, as I feel like sunlight was not enough, like solar energy was getting gained, and I thought that moving it there by doing my solar analysis and sun path analysis, more energy will be gained throughout the day. My building is going to use the double glazed windows. This is because it insulates against heat and cold up to 4 times more than single glazed windows. Right here, I used BIM to create my building, open building designer. I have some elevations of my building, different ones, how I designed them. For the internal walls, I decided to use brick, as it has high durability. It does not impact on the environment. It's wind and moisture resistant, has low maintenance, so it doesn't have to really look after it. For the internal walls, I use concrete because it was durable, resilient, low maintenance, and any repairs minimal because of its durability. Doors and windows, like I said, I use double glazed windows, and is to make it as efficient as it could be. I use mainly double doors for the doors, so it's easier access for people with disabilities. And yeah, for the third floor, I used a curtain wall because it's quite high up, so you get a view around the facility and outside area how it will look. And you literally have to look at the view onto the city. Roof and floors. I used a slanted glazed roof which is so you can see from the top floor to the bottom floor, right up. So you have a nice view. And then I made the roof green roofs to make it environment friendly. This is my example of my scheduled accommodation as I was making it. So how measurements will look around my building, where the coffee shop will go, where the toilet facilities will be, and everything. Recovery rooms. I use Luminati to bring my design to life. As you can see, I use this man right here staying on the car to compare it to the building size and how big the building will be, and just bring more like a realistic feel to how the building will actually look and function. There's some images of the inside as you walk around, how it will look, the slanted roof that I created. Very nice. Yeah. Here is a structural grid, my structural plan. I used I marked it out with the yellow being the columns where they'll go to make it stand. It's really good that I made my building quite simple and straight, so you can go straight up the columns and the beams. Yeah, the slabs all around. There we go. There's a better picture. I use the way how I place my slabs and columns, beams on a section of my building. These are some of the materials I used. I use concrete for the slabs. I use steel for the beams and the columns to create it because they're durable. These are the floor plans I created right here of from the client brief are the rooms which I had to create, and I feel like the way I designed them is very well with the different combining really well how it's gonna work and the circulation, how it's gonna look. There's the second floor and the third floor, but I'm thinking about moving the gymnasium down to the ground floor, as I feel like there's gonna be any weights getting lifted and stuff. It could create essential noise, and it could be impacting people within the facility. Yeah. Here is some energy analysis I ran on the infiltration and how it was at the start before I adjusted it to what was the cost of it and how it was quite hard during the beginning of it, and different methods are being used. After I did some adjustments to it, it went really low, which I'm really impressed with and very proud. So right here, I also did that on just examples. I did that on lighting efficiency and HVAC and stuff like that. Overall, the strengths, I really enjoyed to use Bentley open building design. It gave me the chance to bring my outpatient facility to life by using it 3D and bring it as realistic as possible, looking at different aspects. Weaknesses, I didn't really enjoy the maths aspect of the course, such as measurements of the floor plans and creating a scheduled accommodation. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Well done, Martin. Good question. So you talked about strengths and weaknesses of your scheme, of your personal development. What would you say the strengths? Give me one strength and one weakness of your scheme, would you say, the actual building?
One strength of my building, I reckon, is that it has a lot of windows, so there's a lot of natural light that will get inside the building, so not a lot of artificial light will be used throughout the day, I reckon. And one weakness will probably be I'm not exactly sure, but
Perfect. It's perfect.
okay.
Is it perfect?
It's perfect. Yeah. I believe it's perfect.
can I open any questions up to anybody else? Emma, have you got anything you'd like to ask or?
I think.
There might be an architecture question, sure. Yeah.
Oh, an architectural one, if that's all right then. You spoke very well of your thoughts of construction methods and even cost comparison, which is fantastic to hear. Yeah, because that is reality, a huge one. And you talked about the site that you chose and the reasons for it, all very thorough and very commendable. I'm just wondering, looking back and we're finished building now, when you look at that connection with the ground floor over towards the town view to the south and east, do you think maybe you look at that a little bit differently and how you might connect a bit more with the site, not necessarily landscaping that, but how you that in the future, if that's the next step, you might do that differently? Move the gymnasium down perhaps and actually fill out.
Yeah, yeah, I was thinking about that. I might like move some things around the building after I looking like into it, like how will it impact like noise and like sound and like where things will be placed. So like, yeah, the gymnasium, I plan to like move down from the second floor down to the ground floor because there's like the waiting room is quite big. So I reckon I could make that smaller and fit something else in there and maybe move the recovery room up to the second floor.
So I think maybe then you could start using a bit of the site, external parts of the site.
Yeah.
A bit more and think about, because I know it's quite small windows and I understand why, but given you multiple sites, maybe for the view, you know, to have that connection, maybe looking back, you think that might be, you know, you would detail a bit more and look a bit closer, maybe?
Yeah.
It's been quite a concise answer there, Mark.
Yeah.
Well done. Right, I think we will move on, but very well done indeed. And we will just close. Well done, buddy. You can take a seat.